So inside this box, it's probably one of the most advanced Starlinks, as this is the Starlink Mini. And in this video, we're not just gonna only unbox it and see what's included, but also talk about the price, some Q&As, and literally everything you need to know about buying one of these. Of course, I'll be running some performance tests too to show you how these numbers look like in the real world. And I'll also be highlighting some accessories you should definitely consider picking up for one of these Starlinks. Now, the Mini recently hit the market a couple months ago after making this video. And some of the important things you need to know when choosing between the Mini and the Standard is, as of time making this video, the Standard can be purchased for just $299 and can also be owned at a nicer discount for $199, all depending on the region you're in. Here in California, I could have got the regular one for just $299. But since I do a lot of traveling off the grid, glamming, or even like off-road events I'm attending, I don't have reception. And ever since I found out how small this thing is, the Starlink Mini, look at that. It's no bigger than a sheet of paper. And to measure this in real time, it's about 1 feet tall and about 10 inches wide. And the thickness, it's about almost 2 inches. Slightly less, between 2 inches and 1.5 inches. Weight wise, this weighs about good like 2 pounds, it feels like. And the instruction guide is literally printed right here on the box. It does come with a power cable, which is a length of 50 feet, and also some brackets, accessories if I want to like mount this to a pole. I'm assuming this simply just attaches here and connects, and the power wall adapter, which this is 1.6 amps, about 60 watts, and it uses one of these DC chargers. And then a sheet of paper about regulatory notes, and that's basically it. So now, transitioning from standing up to sitting down, let me talk about how much everything costs, including taxes. So the Mini by itself is $599. It's $20 shipping, that's not free. And with taxes and everything in total of $44, came out to be $663. Well, that's pretty expensive, but when you take in consideration that this is easily the best method to attach Wi-Fi on your backpack, as Starlink advertised, for its size, definitely has some nice pros over the 3rd generation standard dish. Even though you could buy it for a nice discount as time making this video, that one draws more power. From my understanding, it can go up to 100 watts just to power up, and will basically hover around 60 watts. This hovers around 45 watts, which is more ideal and more compatible to be used in your vehicle if you have some household outlets like in an F-150, or run a Ryobi battery bank, or if you get the DC adapter to a USB-C port, you could literally run this off a portable power bank as well. So those are the pros and cons between the Mini and the 3rd generation standard dish. But no matter what dish you decide on getting, they'll have access to the same service that Starlink has available. So for starters, to get you started, there's the residential plan, which is unlimited internet for just $120 a month. The only catch here, it's set to a fixed location. So this is easily ideal for like residential environments. And then there's the roam plan, which has 2 plan options. The first one is a $50 a month plan that has a 50 gig cap. If you go past 50 gigs, you could opt to be charged $1 for each gig you go over, which you could decide to disable. So for reference, with 50 gigs cap, you'll be able to browse the internet for about 500 hours, or you can stream up to 25,000 songs, or 63 hours of standard definition footage if you're streaming stuff on Netflix or YouTube as an example. And then you could opt for the new unlimited data plan for roaming, which is $165. Because previously it was $150 a month, but they added a nice little perk. Because back then, the roaming plan was only supported to be used in vehicles not going faster than 10 miles per hour. Although people were managing to get freeway speed and still be able to connect. But now, the limit has been increased to 100 miles, up to 100 miles, and this satellite dish will still remain connected. But regardless which roaming plan you decide on getting, those 2 plans are the only 2 that can be paused manually. So if you activate it for like 1 week and you pause it, you could save those 3 weeks for another day when you reactivate it. And if you use your dish for international use, with the roaming plan, you could use it for just 2 months internationally. And yes, this is fine with lakes or other beaches and stuff nearby, but when it comes to open ocean, no, you need to opt for the boat plan, which include everything that we previously mentioned. Just as $250 for 50 gigs or $1,000 a month for just 1 terabyte. There's no unlimited plan, unfortunately, for the open seas, but those two can also be paused if you need to. So it's only the residential plan for 120 a month that cannot be paused. But then if you like to just test the water and select a plan you may want to try, but it could be expensive, if you use someone's referral code, you'll be able to get that plan free for the first month. And if you can't find a referral code from a friend or a family member, I'll be sure to include mine in the description down below. But for me personally, I'm currently testing out the 120 roam plan and see if it's able to fit in my lifestyle. And if it doesn't work out, since there's no contract, I can easily skip between different plans or cancel it for a month or so until I actually go on my next adventure. I like the fact that Starlink gives us that freedom. But regardless on which plan you select, download speeds and upload speeds should be very similar. And from my understanding, they always perform extremely well, but we'll check out in the real world in just a little bit. Because again, it could always vary depending on where you're located. Plus, there's no need to rent for the hardware because everything is bought out by the consumer. So you're not paying like $20 a month or something like dumb like that, like other internet providers. Now think about the Mini. The modem, the router, everything is built into this unit as you see right here, which is quite impressive. But because of that, this is running Wi-Fi 5 as it's using a 3x3 MIMO Wi-Fi 5 system built into it. But there is an Ethernet port right here they could have access to. If you want to set this as like a gateway and hook it up to like a Wi-Fi 6 or Wi-Fi 7 now router. Or if you like to hardwire it and directly connect it to like a laptop. As once more, the power cable is included and it's pretty lengthy, 50 feet. And if you're concerned about it not being water resistant, don't be, as the satellite dish actually is IP67, both water and dust resistant. So this could be left outside just fine. As it has a rating that could be fully submerged in water of 1 meter for just 30 minutes. So let's go in the backyard and pair this up and see how well it performs. Right, so here we are in my backyard. And just to demonstrate, I'm able to fit this dish inside a normal size backpack. Because you will soon find out, there we go. It's pretty darn small. So this is my first time setting this one up. I already took the liberty of attaching the power adapter to the wall, which is being filmed right now because I want to show us, or I want to see how much watt it takes to power up this device. So an interesting thing about this is that the power adapter is weather sealed. The only thing that's not weather sealed is the Ethernet port if you want to manually hardwire it. But they do sell these adapters, which I actually purchased, which will give you a weather seal connection for your Ethernet cable, like a Cat 6 or something like that. So you don't have to pay up a lot of money to get the weather seal one that Starlink themselves make. You could just use this and make your current one that you currently own weatherproof. So this simply just attaches on like so, and that's it in terms of power. It looks like we are drawing around 40 watts of power so far just to get this thing started. Simply launch the Starlink app, and we are using the Mini. Confirm. Find a clear view of the sky. Yes. Scan the entire sky. Oh, this is interesting. It even guides you in the places you're missing. View results. Oh, this is actually really cool. Streaming good videos, web browsing good, some calls, interesting. And we got to make it face about north. And now we are connected, and here's the overview of the app. Very easy to use. Took me a minute just to have the Wi-Fi password and username all set up. On the top here, layout's super easy. You can see the status of like your router, latency. It's quite incredible how much power, even tells you the power that's drawing too. Again, at most it's 40 watts just to boot up, but after that it's just cruising around 20 watts of power. It really doesn't draw that much energy at all. Network, you can manage the devices that's connected to. Obstructions. This is pretty interesting. There's like a built-in gyroscope, but when you hit align Starlink, it'll use that built-in gyroscope to help you pivot this to the optimal position to maximize your internet performance speed. So right now we left it there. It's good. Alignment, very similar to the same thing we just did. And then here you could do like the built-in speed test. So if we run a speed test right now, let's see what we get. Actually, I'm kind of blocking it. Okay, that was mediocre speed, but let's see what the real test would do if we use a third-party like speed test. We're gonna go ahead and do best 2 out of 3. So the best one I was able to get was 120 downloads and about 11 megabytes upload. And we can see down here, connection type, SpaceX, Starlink. It's good. Advertised range, not bad. Other additional goodies on the native app is in settings. Here's where you can find the capability to quickly reboot the router. content filtering if you like to prevent malware or adult content from being searched. You can change the username. You even have access to advanced things such as custom DNS, bypass mode, or factory reset. And in Starlink setting, the front portion looks like there is a snow melt mode. So you can actually allow it to precondition and melt off any snow that might be blocking your internet performance, which is quite nice. There also is a sleep schedule, so this could go in very low power mode if it's not being used, as well as reset or reboot Starlink down here. And then below that is your feedback, which is quite impressive. And then for subscription settings, just tap on your profile and go down where it says manage subscription. And in here is where you can find a pause ability to pause your data. And if you have like the 50 gig cap, I'm sure this is where you could opt to remove or opt in if you like to be charged $1 if you go over. So here we are on the freeway. I have this wired to my vehicle. Now this may not be the most prettiest setup. I literally just put it on top of my glass roof and then just close the cover underneath it to hold it in place. There's third-party accessories like this, which I'm probably going to purchase after this video. I'll link that one in the description if you're interested as well. But that's how I was able to make it stay up there. Somewhat does swing around, so there's that. But I'll manage to utilize the household outlet that the F-150 has, so I was able to literally plug this thing in, and my iPhone's already connected to it. Now, even though it's not perfectly aligned, but we are traveling going 60 on the highway right now, and it's lined up. I have data showing that it is indeed connected. And if I go ahead and do like a speed test and hit go, let's see what kind of real life number we're getting while on the move. And right now, ooh, look at that. We are achieving 100 megabytes download speeds. And quite impressive upload as well. This was the best one that we got out of the 3 times. So in my opinion, this is doable. This is not bad. Almost the same as like we were experiencing earlier when we were just in my backyard. So it's pretty consistent. It's safe to say that the performance of the internet speed for Starlink is pretty consistent. But unfortunately, when you drive underneath like bridges and stuff like that, I'm sure it cuts connection. So in short summary, do I think Starlink is the best alternative for home internet? Well, the answer is yes and no. It's definitely a big yes if this is the only internet provider available for your household. Because I'll personally, from personal experience, avoid HughesNet and I'll pick Starlink over that. But if you have like other options around your household like Verizon or T-Mobile 5G home internet access, or even T-Mobile or AT&T, I would recommend trying out those first before you get Starlink. Because if you would ask me what's my current internet provider, I'm actually using T-Mobile. I'm using their like latest 5G home internet gateway that they have, the white one, because this one has ports in the back which allows you to actually install an antenna that will amplify the signal. And for $50 a month, I'm getting about average 200 or 300 megabytes download speeds and about 50 to 60 uploads. So I highly recommend just shopping around and seeing what's a better deal out there. Because monthly payment service wise, Starlink is pretty expensive. $120 for residential when I'm getting the same experience and performance for just $50 a month with T-Mobile. So that's just an example why you should probably consider shopping around before you consider Starlink to be your main home residential internet provider. But I personally travel a lot, especially with my truck. I always find myself off the grid. There's no reception, cellular reception, and even the hotel sometimes Wi-Fi sucks. Traveling with this definitely will change things. So if you are an outdoor adventurous, overlander, or even an RV traveler, the capability to pause the service and resume makes it my main reason why I decided to go and pull the trigger and get the Starlink Mini. Having this avoids the need to backtrack just to find a reception area. And since it's so energy efficient, I could just run this thing off a power bank. So I'm definitely satisfied with the performance and results of using Starlink. Setup procedure was super easy. So if you want to give Starlink a try, I'll be sure to include again my referral code in the description down below, as well as all the accessories and such that I talked about in today's video. They'll all be linked down there. But now let's talk about some commonly asked questions. One of which is somebody asked online, not me directly, but I've noticed this was one of the most searched up asked questions about Starlink. Can I run this on the attic? No. Starlink literally is kind of like a beam of light that goes in space. You really can't see it, but just think about it as if it's a flashlight. If you cover it, you block the connection. So the dish works in that similar way as well. And any other commonly asked questions: is the Starlink Mini slower than the standard third generation? Yes, just by 100 megabytes from what I've seen from watching other YouTube videos and such and doing research before I purchased this. But in the real world, honestly, I think this is all you need. Unless you're constantly like deleting like PC games and downloading them over and over again, then maybe that's when you want a faster download speed. But if you do need faster performance, the standard third generation is not only cheaper, but delivers better internet performance, but not by a whole lot. But it also draws more energy. But that's all the Q&As I got. Feel free to comment down below and ask me any more questions you may want to have answered. Before you purchase it, I'll be sure to stop on by in the comment section once in a while and get back to you guys. Thank you so much for watching.